Just as a preface, the setting and the lighting are at the preference of the interviewee.
In other words, if the video sucks, it's my fault.
Please state your name, your age, and your background.
My name is R.L. Poole. I'm 51 years old. I'm a life member of American Mensa. I wrote a #1 bestseller in the physics of gravity on Amazon. I was the handpicked chosen expert for the Coral Castle by the History Channel. And everything I'm about to tell you is the absolute truth.
What do you think of Bob Lazar and Stephen Greer?
Oh, so we're just starting off. So, Bob Lazar. I have personally corresponded with Bob Lazar. I believe that he is telling the absolute truth. The problem is, and the difference between him and I, is that I should, and he had no right. He made a vow to the United States government, non-disclosure, that he was willing to guard government secrets. And I'm sorry, but at that time, he had no right, and it wasn't to be done as a whistleblower. That came later. He actually got stripped of his clearance and his job because he betrayed his oath to the United States of America to try to look cool to 6 fucking people. He was bringing people out to the test site so they could see the test. Not as a whistleblower, just trying to be cool and impress people. He admits this. He admitted this to me. And as I see it, he threw away an amazing chance to help guide history into the future by betraying this oath. For what? To look cool to 6 people. And he lost everything. So, while he is telling the truth, he wasn't supposed to be. And I see this as a huge issue. Stephen Greer is, to me, nothing more than a cult leader who pretends to know things about UFOs, to pretend to have these unbelievable experiences that he has absolutely no evidence for. He made a movie called Disclosure, and has had more people sign a non-disclosure agreement than maybe anyone in history. What does that tell you about what he thinks of the truth? I don't believe him, and neither should anyone else. He's a cult leader masquerading as a UFO expert and trying to engage in exopolitics in which he has no knowledge or authority to do. That's my opinion on that.
Okay. Do you believe Travis Walton's experience?
Travis Walton is an entirely different story. Yes, I have met Travis Walton personally. I met him at Alien Con, and I think it was 2018, about 5 years ago. And I was walking through, and I happened to see him sitting at a table by himself. No one around. No one was talking to him. And I walked right over to him, and I met him, and we talked for about an hour. And he's a very nice man, very humble, and very honest. And we connected on a level that isn't like just strangers meeting, that we were able to share our mutual experiences, because that's what this video is about, are my abduction experiences. I'm an abduction experiencer and an abduction survivor. And when we spoke to each other, it was like old friends. Like what happened to you? What happened to you? And he was interested. He was just as interested in what happened to me as I was in his very famous story. And I walked away being so impressed and humbled by his honesty and his courage that it is one of the reasons that I felt inspired to make this video and to do this interview. I think very highly of Travis Walton.
Okay. How do you know when they take you?
That's a good question. So, what I came to know through years of being abducted, and if you'd like to know about my earliest abduction experience, there is a video that is on this channel, Coral Castle TV, and it's called a CCTV UFO special, and on there I provide videos and pictures to back up my claims, and I relay my very first experience that happened to me when I was about 6 years old. But over the past 45 years or so that I've been taken, there are some consistencies that, and I know some of this may sound vague, okay, but I want you to know it comes from a real place. And one of the things is you will see them around. You will see a very bright star in the sky that isn't a star. It will be very low and it will be bright. This is my experience, that it's like you know where they are. And they make themselves visible or seen many times before the abduction, as though warning you in advance. There will be a feeling of dread that you have for no reason. No reason. You're fine. You're just skipping along in life, and then you'll see that light, and then all of a sudden you feel different now. And that's generally how I came to know later on that I would be taken. I would see them, and I would know tonight is the night that's going to happen. But only would I know afterwards if that were true, because there are things that you feel or that you experience after, like that I experienced when I would be returned, and I would wake up suddenly in my bed. I would just sit straight up like I'd been shocked with a cattle prod or something, and then I would look around and I would feel very disoriented, and then I would immediately have to go to the bathroom and wash my face, wash my hands, and just drink as much water as I possibly could, just out of my hands, out of the sink. I felt sticky and hot and gross, and I would know by the way the night began with seeing them, and then waking up at a certain time at night consistently over and over again for no apparent reason, and then having these symptoms, these feelings, these characteristics of feeling hot, sticky, gross, really thirsty, and you feel like you've been touched everywhere by something, and you want to wash it off of you. I wanted to wash it off as soon as I could in every way possible. And that, I know that's very vague, but it is very consistent over the years, is that feeling of feeling sticky and gross and like something. You've been somewhere, but you don't know where or why. And also it would be because of the consistency that I would wake up between 2:30 and 3:30 in the morning, and the most common time that I would wake up for many years after I was being abducted was 3:33 a.m. and I don't know why that's significant, but it was literally to the minute. 3:33 a.m. I would wake up. And so backtracking that and trying to establish the missing time, generally I would be taken between 2:30 and 3:30 in the morning. There are the times when I would be taken.
Wow. That's interesting. Really interesting. Have they told you why they abduct you?
Yes. People ask me where they're from. I never ask them where they're from because I don't care. Because the way I look at it, wherever they are, I'm not going to go there. It doesn't matter to me. nobody on this planet will ever go to where they're from. So what does it matter where they're from? So that wasn't the question that was important to me. I know a lot of people want to know that, but that isn't what I wanted to know. I had been taken so many times, and it had been such a traumatic experience for me at a certain point that I just wanted to know, why are you taking me? I know you take people. And so the way that you ask them questions, the ones that take me, is it would be the last thing I would think about before I went to sleep. I would just say in my mind over and over, why do you take me? Why do you take me? Why? Of all people, why are you taking me? Because you don't take other people. You only seem to pick and choose. So what is it? Why? Why myself? And I did receive an answer once, and I received it in person. And by in person, I do mean I met these little guys. I met one. I have some. Can I reference my drawings?
Absolutely.
Okay, I brought some drawings along because, just in case this kind of thing. So, one night, I wake up, and I'm standing up, on a podium, like a little round gunmetal gray podium, and this podium has a light source at the top, and it comes down kind of like a cone, and it's golden light, not yellow, golden. I look out and I cannot see anything else. It is black everywhere, absolutely pitch black, and I can't see. But directly in front of me, I see a being come into view, and it's one of these little guys. This is who I saw, and he walks up to the podium. There's a podium over there. I see it rise up out of the ground when he steps on it, and then the podium just moves toward me. And as it moves toward me, he's bathed in that same golden light, like a cone of light, and they're separated from each other, and he's coming toward me. And I'm not afraid. I just see him, and I just wonder, what is this? And when his podium gets close enough that the two cones of light intersect, they overlap each other, he looks at me, and I mean really looks at me. And it felt like an eternity of just silence, of me looking at him and him looking at me. And then he reaches out his arm, and he takes one finger and he touches me. He touches me right here. And he says one word: guardian. Guardian. He touches me right on my heart and says, guardian. And then he puts his arm down, and we stand there, and I nod. I nod my head to him as though I understand, and I recognized I heard you. And then the podium backs away, and he turns and leaves. And then I wake up later in my bed.